Hello to all. Welcome to the channel Code++. This time we would see the problems with event.Listener and how to resolve them. And we will understand the concept of event bubbling. Now in our previous video we had seen that there were three boxes, that is blue, green and brown. And these were the HTML associated with these boxes. Now when we clicked on each of these boxes, a text message appeared on the screen and it said you had clicked the corresponding box color. Let me show you in the browser. So if I clicked on the blue box, a click event would happen and it would say you have clicked the blue box. Similarly on the green box, you have clicked on the green box, and on the brown box, you have clicked the brown box. It was all hunky-dory, it was all fine. But what if there are to be more than these boxes? Suppose there are 5 more boxes. So on how many boxes would you go on adding a new event listener? And this would present a limitation to our project or to our code. So in order to solve that, we will use the concept of event bubbling. So let us see what event bubbling is. Let us go on to our new file. So here we have boxes.html. Inside that we have the similar code like we had in the event listener.html. Here the only difference is that I have commented out some divs and I have kept the original 3 divs intact. And in the CSS of the container, I have added a margin so that we can understand where the container is and where the boxes are. This would bring a visual clarity to our demonstration. Now in this code I have added a div with a class of message, and inside that message we will display whatever is being clicked inside the wrapper or other element except the boxes. And inside the text box, like in the previous example, we would display on which box the mouse has been clicked or on which box the mouse event click is happening. Right? So let us see the JavaScript for this. So inside the script we have blue div box like earlier, brown, green, and a container box like we had earlier. But this time I have also selected the body tag, that is document.querySelector body. And for the text box we can use text box document.querySelector.textbox. And for the container message box, that is this one on line 73, I have used the document query selector for .message. Now inside the blue box we can add an event listener. Here I have added 3 console.log so that we can easily see what is happening when we click the blue box or when a click event is happening on a div with a class of blue box. So the first console log would be inside blue box. Event happening is event.type. So we can capture the event which is happening. In our case it would be click. Console.log the event path. So whatever the path that is being taken by the event to propagate would be covered here. So this event.path would clarify us what event bubbling is actually. And console.log event target, that is on which element we are clicking our mouse, that will be our event target. So if I am clicking inside this div class blue box, then in the log it will show div class blue box and closing of div. That's what it will show. So let us go to the browser and see the result of this console.log. So as I've already told, I have made a border around the wrapper. Now when I click on inspect and see the console, and if I go and click on the blue box, so here it shows that you have clicked inside the blue box as well as you have clicked inside the container box. Now from where this container box message is coming, I will show you later on. So here the line inside blue box event happening is click. That is what we had said earlier. Now in console.log the event path, that is on line number 89, we can see the event path is div.box.blue, then div.container, then body, then HTML, then document, then ultimately the window. So this is the event propagation. The event is bubbling up all the way up till the window class. So when I click inside the blue box, actually what happens is the event starts from the blue box, then it reaches the container, then body, then HTML. In other words, at the same time the event is being listened by the superior or the parent elements. So if I am clicking inside a blue box, then at the same time the event is being listened by the container box. That is what is happening. And if we place an event listener on the container box, we can record that event also. Because the child blue box is inside the container, therefore at the same time the container box is also able to listen or the event has been propagated to the container. We can see that in the code. So at the same time I had added an event listener to the container box. The container box is this one, that is inside which the blue box is residing. So that is why we are able to listen whenever I am clicking inside the blue box div. And now if you'll observe on the console, we can see the event target is blue box, right? Because it was clicked here, so the event target happening is blue box. Now if I click on the green box, the event target would be green box, and the rest of the event path would remain the same. Now if I refresh it and click on the wrapper alone, so you have clicked inside the container box. This time I am not clicking inside the blue box or green box or brown box. So it is showing the message you have clicked inside the container box, and this time we can see the event path is a bit shorter. It propagates from the container, then to the parent element, then to the parent element, then to the parent element, and then to the parent element. That is container, body, HTML, document, and window. And the event target also changes. This time it is not the blue box or green box or brown box. This time it is the container box. Now what if I click on the green box? So we have this simultaneous message that you have clicked the green box as well as you have clicked inside the container box, and the event is bubbling up, right? That is why we are being able to see this message. Now what if I want to click on the blue box and I don't want the container to listen to it, right? I don't want this message to be displayed. If I click inside the boxes, only we want this message to be displayed exclusively. That is, you have clicked on the blue, green or brown box. How can we achieve that? How can we stop the event from bubbling up? And to answer it, we have an inbuilt method, that is stop event propagation. So if I come to our code and add the function that is event.stopPropagation and save it. If I click inside the blue box, this time the event would not bubble up. It will remain confined to the blue box container only. Even then, only the propagation has been stopped, but the path would remain same. Div box blue, div container, body, HTML, document, and window. And the event target this time was blue box. If I refresh it and click inside the container, it will show you have clicked inside the container box. This is happening as our earlier case. Now if I click inside the green box, and since I have not stopped the propagation inside the green box, it would propagate and show me both the things. So if I refresh it and click on the green box again, we can see the simultaneous messages. That is, you have clicked on the green box as well as you have clicked inside the container box. The same thing goes for the brown box. Now the last thing to do would be to add a stop propagation in green and brown boxes also. So I copy this code, go inside the green box and go inside the brown box. And if I save them and come on the page again, now if I click inside the blue box, it will exclusively show blue. If green, then brown. And if I click outside them, then it will show the container box. Let me refresh. If I click outside, then it will show the container box. Now let me show you how the event can propagate. Now on the body tag, I had added an event listener. Let us uncomment that and see, save it. We are going to our browser and see what happens. Refresh it and click the blue box. So the event is not being propagated because we have used the stop propagation. Now if I click inside the container box, let me refresh it. Now if I click on the space over here, it will say you have clicked inside the body element, because that container is inside the body element and we have added an event listener to it. So that is why it is showing you have clicked inside the body element. Now let me refresh it and click over here. It will also show that I am clicking on the thing which is inside the body element. What was happening to the blue boxes with respect to the container is now happening with the container with respect to the body element. Now if I want to stop propagation from the container box, I can simply add event.stopPropagation. So this would do the same thing to the container box with respect to the body tag. If I come here and click on the container, we can see that you have clicked inside the container box and the event is not being propagated. Now if I refresh it and click over here, we can see that you have clicked inside the body element. So that is how we can stop the event from bubbling up, and it is very useful sometimes. And we can take the advantage of this property and add an event listener to the parent container in order that all the containers inside the parent container are being listened to. And that is what we are going to do now. Coming back to our code, we will simply comment all these. After commenting the code, let us uncomment the HTML. That is, we have added two new boxes, that is box indigo, which would be an indigo colored box, and box crimson, that is crimson box. These two new divs have been added. Let us save it and see the result on the browser. Oops, I think we need to add some CSS to it. Actually, I have added the CSS, but I have forgot to uncomment them. So let us do that. Here it is. Now I have saved it and we can see the result on the browser. Let us close this. So we have 5 boxes and there are no event listeners to them because I have commented the code. So nothing works. So if I want to add event listeners to all of them, it would be tedious task to add one by one. So in order to achieve that, we can take the advantage of event bubbling and add an event listener to the container div. And from that container div, we would be able to listen to all the click events happening inside these boxes. So coming on to our code, let us add some JavaScript to it. So I will use this container box. And I would use this text box div. These two are to be used because I want to add an event listener to the container, that is this one, inside which all these 5 divs reside. And on the container box, we are going to add event listener and the event type would be click, that is function. So inside the container box, if you want to see what is happening, we can add a console.log. So console.log event target, and the event target would be our event.target. So in this way we would be able to understand on which element the mouse is being clicked. Let us save it and come to our browser, view the inspect, and if I go to console and click on the blue box, we can see the event target is blue box. If I go and click on the crimson box, then the event target is crimson box. And if I go and click on the brown box, the event target would be div class box brown. So that is what is happening when we are clicking inside the things. And if I click inside the container, it would be the container. If I click here or here, somewhere where there are no boxes, then the event target would become container. That is what is being displayed. Now coming back to our code, let us see what are the classes attached to the event target. That is what we want to exploit. So if we want to know the class list of all the events, then we can add console.log. So it will be event.target.classList, and come back to our browser, and if I click on the blue box, then we can see that the event target class list is box blue. This is the class list and it has a value of box blue, and this value is being displayed from line number 62, that is class is box blue. That is what is being displayed over here. Now if I click on the brown box, the event target would be brown box and the class list would become box brown and the values would be box brown. Now in this class list, we can see the first element is box and the second element is brown. So it is a kind of array and we can take advantage of this and use this in our code. So if event.target.classList 0, that is the first thing I had shown earlier, is box, then I want to do something, and that is what we are going to do. We are going to change the message inside the text box, and for that we need a box inner HTML in which we will use formatted strings. So I am going to fast forward it for now. And the text box div inner HTML would become box inner HTML. We forgot to add the where. And now let us test our code. You clicked inside the blue box, you clicked inside the green box, but wait a minute, something is not right. We forgot the dollar. Now it is going to work properly. So if I click on the blue box, we can see the color is blue and it is bold because of the CSS I had added earlier, that is span, font weight, bold, that is being reflected. And if I click on the crimson box, then you clicked inside the crimson box, and if I click inside the indigo box, then it will show you clicked inside the indigo box. So that is what is happening. So let us test whether our code is durable, or if we add a new box, whether the thing would hold for the new box or not. So if I come here and add div class is equal to box orange box, save it, and if I come here and orange background color is orange, save it, and if I come on the screen, we can see the orange box has been added, and if I click on that, we can see the same behavior as we had for blue box. You clicked inside the orange box. So this is how, with the help of event bubbling, we can take the advantage and use the parent container, that is in our case class container, to listen to all the events happening inside the child boxes or child divisions, which is what has been achieved in this program. In order to gain more clarity on this, I suggest you try the same thing on an unordered list, where on adding each list item you do something. Now this was the coding part. Now if you have any doubts, you can put them in the comment section, or you have any comments, you can put them in the comment section. Like the video, share the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel Code++, and stay connected. Thank you for watching.